Hey, it's the Biscuit Boys. I bought one from you over there at the Montana.
I'm on TV.
At the Montana Outlaw Barbecue.
I got a question.
Yeah.
What
One wheel.
news are we going on?
Huh?
What news are we going on?
This is for Montana Outlaw Barbecue's YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook.
We're famous.
All right, we're from Moore County, Tennessee. Your future state champs. Come on down.
There we go.
Come on down and get you some barbecue and get you some whiskey.
Get you some whiskey in this dry county.
He is
We're
not
down.
21.
You were damp? Ah.
It's leftover barbecue.
Yeah. That's a little too rare.
Every year, Jack Daniel's Distillery sponsors and hosts an event called the Jack Daniel's World Championship Invitational. It's the only contest like it in the United States and the world.
When you go to different barbecue contests, it's always about the Jack. Everybody's just trying to get there.
You have to be invited. There's no entry fees to it. What they do is they get a representative from every state, several foreign countries, a lot of European countries. So it's a very unique contest that every person there is a champion.
It's about the experiences, and they offer a one-of-a-kind experience. You go down there and the way they treat you and the setting. So anytime we get to go, we've been there for 3 years in a row. It's just an honor, and we'll keep continuing to strive to get that draw, to get there, just because of that's the event. It's the one we strived for from day one when we learned about competition barbecue, and it's the one we've been fortunate enough to go and represent Montana. every year it's another one of the traditions, and the Jack is just full of traditions that have happened over the years, is to go and eat lunch at Miss Mary Bobo's, either on Thursday or Friday. It's a boarding house in town. They feed you communal style. So they bring it in, everybody eats the same food, and you have a hostess who's lived in Lynchburg or worked at Jack Daniel's probably their whole life. And this is now what they do, is they come and they tell you a history, and you get a story while you eat, and you get to know people that from across the country.
But you never know who you're going to sit with. There's a table full of people, and you just never know, and it's always a great time.
We'll make our reservation for Miss Mary Bobo's if we're pretty confident we're going to be going. Even if we're not, we can call and cancel, but we'll be making reservations in July, first part of July, just because that's how fast it fills out. When they announce it in August, it's full probably by the afternoon of that day or that next day. So it's one of those things, you get in and you just plan on doing it.
There's also a tradition of barrelheads. There's a barrelhead, a Jack Daniel's barrelhead with the dates and the name of the contest.
It's the end of a barrel of whiskey, so 55 gallon. It's a big oak end piece. You go around and you try and get as many teams to sign them as possible. I mean, there's people that walk around with a list of every team that's there, and they get every team they can and they check them off, and so that they know they have every one of them.
And that's another great tradition of the Jack that only happens at the Jack.
At the Jack, every Friday morning, Jack Daniel's puts out 500 numbered bottles. They call it the bottle buy, and it starts about 9 o'clock in the morning, and typically there's a line of probably about 70 or 80 people right when they open the doors, but it gets pretty hectic in there. You come in and they don't put the bottles out in any particular numerical order, and so people are always looking for their one number. They've been there multiple years in a row, so they're trying to find that number, and so they kind of push and shove, and you hear people kind of yelling out what number they want. And
for the last 3 years, we've gotten bottle number 406, of course, Tor, Montana.
And then once you get that done, you go and have them engraved. You can put lettering on it. We always have our own logo put on it, and it's just kind of a collector's item. It's something that I won't drink ever. It's kind of just that keepsake, that memory of the times, and you can always remember, boy, when we were there this year, we did this, or we placed that, or we were parked next to so-and-so and had a really great time. And so it's just kind of a way to bring memories back, and hopefully someday, the hope is we have some place where we can display them all, and people can ask us about them, and we can tell them about our times we had when we competed at the Jack. Every Friday at the Jack, you start your day out with a bottle buy, obviously, but then at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, they do a parade through downtown Lynchburg.
You have to understand, downtown Lynchburg is very small. It's only about 3 square blocks, and every team lines up with your banner, and you walk through it. There's a marching band, and it's a big festivity. We always, last 3 years we've been right in the beginning of the parade, so we have a great time with that. It's kind of our tradition to be there at the beginning, and we march right over there to the distillery, and it's an awesome time. It's a great time. Like I said, it doesn't happen anywhere but at the Jack. And they also host a dinner up on the hill overlooking the valley. And of course, it's in October. The colors are starting to really change. It's still warm in Tennessee in October, and it's just a lot of people. Of course, it's Tennessee, so there's live music, and all this stuff's done, and it's just, if you're invited, you get to partake in all of this.
After that dinner's over, though, the attitude on the bus coming back down from the hill is totally different than it is going up on the hill. When you come back down, all your bigger teams, all your really competitive teams are going to be up there early, and they're going to leave early. And you get back on that bus, and you can tell the attitude's changed. People are now, it's time to go back and get to work and make sure that you have your stuff in order, because tomorrow it's time to get up and try and win that grand championship.
Yeah. After we get back from the dinner on the hill, we get real busy prepping our meat. We season our brisket and our pork. We inject our ribs and get them ready to go, and inject our brisket.
And so you don't notice anybody out walking around per se. Everybody's kind of either in their trailers, in their tents, and you're getting everything prepared so that tomorrow morning when you wake up, you shouldn't have any hiccups, you shouldn't have any problems, there should be no surprises. You should start a fire in your pit, get your meat on, and everything should run like clockwork.
We get a little cat nap during the early hours of the morning, then we start bright and early on Saturday morning for turn-ins on Saturday.